They make war films to get the war effort brought to the audience. I don't think two people will agree on anything in combat. I didn't make it far, though. I mean, I didn't get involved in it.
Have you ever wondered what lies behind the tough exterior of old Hollywood's legendary stars? Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating life of Lee Marvin, an actor renowned for his rugged roles and distinctive voice from the golden age of old Hollywood. Marvin's off-screen life was even more dramatic and captivating. From a tumultuous childhood and heroic military service to his breakthrough in old Hollywood and the scandalous palimony case, Marvin's life was full of surprises. Curious about his actions during his Oscar acceptance speech? Or how his real-life experiences shaped his legendary roles? Join us as we unveil the secrets of Lee Marvin in today's video. Ready? Let's get started. Lee Marvin, born Lamont Waltman. Marvin Jr. on February 19, 1924 in New York City, came from a distinguished background. His father, Lamont Waltman Marvin, was a World War I veteran and an advertising executive, while his mother, Courtney Washington, was a fashion writer. Lee was named after his first cousin 4 times removed, Confederate General Robert E. Lee, which highlighted the family's deep American roots. Despite his prominent lineage, Marvin's childhood was far from smooth. He struggled with ADHD and dyslexia, which made school a challenging environment for him. His rebellious nature led to him being expelled from several schools. In addition to his academic struggles, Lee learned to play the violin at a young age, but preferred more adventurous activities like hunting in the Everglades. He spent his weekends and spare time hunting deer, puma, wild turkey, and bobwhite in the then uncharted Everglades, which nurtured his love for the outdoors and adventure. Marvin's education journey was marked by a series of expulsions due to his behavior. He attended the Manumit School, a Christian socialist boarding school in Paulding, New York, and later the Peekskill Military Academy in Peekskill, New York. At Peekskill, Marvin's rebellious streak continued. He was expelled for smoking and fighting. He then attended St. Leo College Preparatory School in Florida, a Catholic institution, where a pivotal moment set him on the path to his future career. Marvin's tumultuous youth, marked by constant disciplinary issues, culminated in his decision to join the military, which provided the discipline and structure he needed. This period of his life laid the foundation for the resilient and rugged persona he would later bring to his iconic roles in Hollywood. When World War II began, Lee Marvin enlisted in the United States Marine Corps on August 2, 1942. Despite his father's objections, who was a Marine veteran himself, Marvin found the discipline he needed in boot camp. He quickly rose to the rank of quartermaster just before finishing infantry school. Marvin achieved several notable accomplishments during his service. He was a scout sniper in the 4th Marine Division in the Pacific Theater and fought in the brutal battles of Eniwetok and Saipan. During Operation Flintlock, the invasion of the Marshall Islands, Marvin's unit faced intense artillery fire, which led to heavy casualties. During the Battle of Saipan, Marvin was severely wounded by machine gun fire, which damaged his sciatic nerve, and he also took a sniper's bullet to the foot. The injury was particularly severe, tearing a 9 by 3-inch hole in his buttocks and narrowly missing his spinal cord. This resulted in a lengthy recovery period of over a year and a medical discharge. For his bravery, he was awarded the Purple Heart. Additionally, Marvin received several other honors, including the Presidential Unit Citation, the Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal, the American Campaign Medal, the Combat Action Ribbon, and the World War II Victory Medal. These were impressive achievements for a private first class. Marvin admitted that if he had not been such a troublemaker, he would have maintained his rank as corporal. He often said that his time in the Marines taught him how to act, famously telling interviewer Robert Ward, "It was the Marines who taught me how to act. After that, pretending to be rough wasn't so hard." After his injury, Marvin spent 13 months in various naval hospitals. He was awarded the Purple Heart while in a hospital on Guadalcanal and received a Presidential Unit Citation. a letter of commendation with ribbon, and several campaign medals. At the Boston Naval Hospital, he learned that he had narrowly escaped being permanently paralyzed. Marvin's wartime experiences profoundly affected him, both physically and psychologically. He experienced nightmares and a lasting sense of loss for his fallen comrades, a sentiment that stayed with him throughout his life. After the war, despite his efforts to re-enlist, he was unable to return to military service due to his injuries. Marvin's military service was a significant part of his identity, and he remained proud of his Marine Corps background throughout his life, often reflecting on it more than his Hollywood career. He was buried with full military honors at Arlington National Cemetery, his headstone simply inscribed with Lee Marvin, PFC, Marine Corps, World War II, with no mention of his acting achievements. Lee Marvin, known for his distinctive white hair and tough guy persona, saw his career truly begin to flourish after the war. Upon returning home, he took a job as a plumber's assistant in Woodstock, New York. However, fate had other plans for him. During one of his jobs, Marvin was asked to fill in for an actor who had fallen ill during rehearsals. This unexpected opportunity ignited his passion for acting, leading him to secure a position at the company, earning $7 a week. Marvin pursued various acting opportunities before moving to Greenwich Village in Lower Manhattan, New York, where he enrolled at the American Theater Wing. Thanks to the GI Bill, which provided benefits for returning veterans, he was able to afford his acting lessons. At the outset of his career, Marvin took on numerous uncredited roles, and in 1949, he made his stage debut in the original production of the play Billy Budd. That same year, he also landed a role in the play The 19th Hole of Europe. Marvin once reflected on this period, saying, "I never thought I'd end up on stage. It was like destiny handed me a script, and I just had to play the part." This humble beginning was just the start of a journey that would see him become one of Hollywood's most enduring tough guys. During his early days in theater, Marvin was known for his intense preparation, often staying up late into the night to perfect his lines and embody his characters fully. Things began to accelerate for Marvin, and before long, he found himself with multiple TV roles. Lee Marvin made his film debut in the American war comedy You're in the Navy Now, acting alongside Jack Warden and Charles Bronson. Coincidentally, this film also marked the debut for Warden and Bronson. Despite the filming taking place in Hollywood, Marvin decided to remain in California. That same year, he landed a small role in Fred Zimmerman's film Teresa. This project marked the first time his military experience proved useful on set. He provided guidance to directors and co-stars on realistic infantry movements and even contributed to the costumes and firearm use. Due to his military background, Marvin often found himself cast in roles that required a man in uniform or an authoritative figure. He took on numerous projects, albeit minor ones, including starring in episodes of the American anthology series Fireside Theater and another anthology titled Rebound. Some of his early works include Diplomatic Courier, Down Among the Sheltering Palms, We're Not Married, The Duel at Silver Creek, and Hangman's Knot. He portrayed men in uniform again in the Western film Seminole and the Korean War film The Glory Brigade, both released in 1953. Marvin also proved to be a natural fit for Westerns, taking on roles in projects like The Stranger Wore a Gun, Randolph Scott, and Gun Fury. These various roles eventually led to his breakout performance, which we are about to reveal. The 1950s marked the pinnacle of Lee Marvin's career, as he began to shine in prominent roles. His portrayal of the villain Vince Stone in the 1953 noir crime film The Big Heat was lauded by both critics and audiences. This role truly showcased Marvin's ability to bring intensity and complexity to his characters. In that same year, he starred alongside Marlon Brando in the American crime film The Wild One, where he played Chino, the leader of a motorcycle gang called the Beatles. These two films were pivotal, signaling Marvin's rise to fame and leading to more significant opportunities in Hollywood. In 1955, Marvin's performance in Violent Saturday was particularly praised for the depth he brought to his role. Critics noted how he added layers of complexity to his character, making it one of the standout performances of the film. That same year, Marvin co-starred with Frank Sinatra in the medical drama Not as a Stranger, further cementing his reputation as a versatile actor capable of handling diverse roles. Throughout the 1950s, Marvin appeared in numerous supporting roles in films such as A Life in the Balance, Pete Kelly's Blues, and Jane Wyman Presents the Fireside Theater. His ability to consistently deliver strong performances in various genres helped him build a solid foundation in the industry. However, it was his lead role in the TV series M Squad that truly made him a household name. As tough Chicago cop Frank Ballinger, Marvin's portrayal was both gritty and compelling, making the series a hit and solidifying his place in American television. One role that significantly showcased Marvin's range as an actor was in the 1965 comedic western Cat Ballou. Based on the novel The Ballad of Cat Ballou, the film featured Marvin in dual roles: Kid Shalene, a grizzled alcoholic gunslinger, and Tim Strawn, a noseless and ruthless assassin. Acting opposite Jane Fonda, Marvin's performance in Cat Ballou was highly acclaimed. The American Film Institute later hailed it as the 10th best Western of all time in 2008. The story revolves around Catherine "Cat" Ballou, played by Fonda, who hires Kid Shalene to protect her father's ranch and later seeks his help to avenge her father's murder. Marvin's ability to play two vastly different characters in the same film was nothing short of remarkable. As Kid Shalene, he provided much of the film's comedic relief, with his clumsy, drunken antics and pants often falling around his ankles. This character, despite his flaws, becomes endearing to the audience as they root for his redemption. Conversely, Tim Strawn is portrayed as a menacing and cold-hearted killer, adding dramatic tension to the film. Marvin's seamless transition between these two roles, one comedic and the other intimidating, demonstrated his exceptional range and skill as an actor. The contrast between the characters was so stark that it felt as though they were played by two different actors. In a twist, the film reveals that Kid Shalene and Tim Strawn are actually brothers, highlighting the theme of duality and inner conflict. While Strawn embodies ruthless aggression, Shalene is a sensitive soul, broken by life's hardships. Cat's unwavering belief in Shalene motivates him to confront his demons and ultimately face his brother. Marvin's nuanced performances in these roles were a testament to his talent, contributing significantly to the film's success. Cat Ballou not only became a box office hit, but also earned Marvin critical acclaim and several awards, including an Academy Award for Best Actor. His acceptance speech at the Oscars was memorable for its humor and humility. Marvin quipped, "I think though half of this belongs to a horse someplace out in the valley," referring to his horse co-star, which drew laughter and applause from the audience. This moment encapsulated Marvin's charm and the playful spirit he brought to his roles, further endearing him to fans and peers alike. By the 1970s, Lee Marvin started transitioning away from his typical bad guy roles, exploring a variety of new ventures. Despite this change, he remained active in westerns, starring in films like Monty Walsh, Prime Cut, Pocket Money, Emperor of the North, and The Iceman Cometh. Marvin worked with many individuals in the industry, but he was very selective about his friendships and valued his privacy. This is evident in his reluctance to speak about his friends in Hollywood. Marvin once said, "I can't stand myself. If I could, I'd play the same guy in all my roles. I don't even like my own company. I've got nothing new to tell myself, nor do I like the company of other actors. If I don't like myself, how could I like them? Since I can't go out in public as much as I used to, I do most of my socializing with the working stiffs on the set during a movie, the stuntmen, the gaffers, and the prop men. These behind-the-scenes guys keep me straight." Marvin's personal life was equally complex. He had 2 marriages and one particularly complicated relationship that later became a public spectacle when it went to court. Marvin's first marriage was to Betty Ebeling. Although their marriage ended in divorce, they shared 16 years together, with a brief separation for 2 years before their official split in 1967. The couple had 4 children, a son, Christopher Lamont, and 3 daughters, Courtney Lee, Cynthia Louise, and Claudia Leslie. Following his divorce from Ebeling, Marvin entered into a relationship with American actress Michelle Triola, who became his live-in girlfriend from 1965 to 1970. Even though they were never married, Triola legally changed her last name to Marvin and sought financial compensation similar to spousal support under California's alimony laws, leading to the infamous palimony lawsuit. Triola claimed that during their 6-year relationship, she became pregnant with Marvin's child and that he paid for 2 abortions, with another pregnancy ending in miscarriage. She further asserted that the abortions rendered her unable to have children. The highly publicized lawsuit brought their private affairs into the public eye. Although the court ordered Marvin to pay $114,000 for rehabilitation purposes, it denied her claim for half of the nearly $4 million Marvin earned during their cohabitation. The court ruled that non-marital relationship contracts differ from marriage, which invalidated her claim. It took 2 more years for the court to determine that no non-marital contract existed, nullifying the award she had received and concluding the case. After their split, Triola was romantically involved with actor Dick Van Dyke from 1976 until her death from lung cancer in October 2009. Frustrated by the constant media attention surrounding the palimony case, Marvin and his second wife, Pamela Feely, whom he married in 1970, decided to move to Tucson, Arizona. There, they sought a quieter life away from the spotlight. Despite his efforts to escape public scrutiny, Marvin's career continued to thrive. He starred in notable films in the 1980s, including Death Hunt with Charles Bronson in 1981 and The Delta Force with Chuck Norris in 1986. These roles showcased his enduring talent and solidified his place in Hollywood history, even as he tried to maintain a low profile in his personal life. Lee Marvin's second marriage was to Pamela Feely, his childhood sweetheart. They wed in 1970 and remained together until his passing in 1987. As Marvin aged, his presence in the film industry began to wane, resulting in fewer roles. By the 1980s, his last significant part was as a sergeant in Samuel Fuller's war epic, The Big Red One. He later appeared in films like Death Hunt, Gorky Park, and Dog Day, none of which achieved major commercial success. His television appearances also dwindled, although he did reprise his role as Major John Reisman in the 1985 sequel, The Dirty Dozen: Next Mission, continuing the story after an 18-year hiatus. Marvin was well known for his distinctive voice and prematurely white hair, which contributed to his tough guy image. Despite his frequent roles in war movies, he held strong anti-war views and was particularly critical of the Vietnam War. He often spoke out against the unrealistic depictions of war in films like The Dirty Dozen, favoring more authentic portrayals such as in Hell in the Pacific and The Big Red One. Marvin's battle with alcoholism, which began during his military service, persisted throughout his life and contributed to his decline. One notorious incident occurred during the filming of The Dirty Dozen, where Marvin, supposed to drive a truck with Charles Bronson's character, was found heavily intoxicated at a pub. The crew managed to sober him up with coffee, and although Bronson was furious, the situation did not escalate further, and filming resumed. In December 1986, Marvin underwent surgery to remove an inflamed section of his colon, but never fully recovered. He passed away at the age of 63 from a heart attack, caused by a major intestinal rupture leading to respiratory distress. Despite efforts to aid his breathing with steroids, this led to cardiac arrest. Marvin had spent over 2 weeks in the hospital months before his death due to complications from coccidioidomycosis. Marvin's pride in his service in the Marine Corps remained paramount throughout his life. He was honored with a full military funeral at Arlington National Cemetery, where his headstone reads, Lee Marvin, PFC, Marine Corps, World War II, with no mention of his acting career. Lee Marvin's view on his career versus his military service reveals much about his character. He once remarked on the fleeting nature of fame, noting that a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame could just as easily have dog manure on it. This grounded outlook perhaps explains why Marvin valued his time as a Marine above his Hollywood accolades. To him, the transient nature of stardom was starkly contrasted with the enduring honor of serving his country. His legacy, therefore, is not just that of a Hollywood tough guy, but also of a man who saw beyond the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry to what truly mattered. What are your thoughts on Lee Marvin, a figure whose life was filled with personal challenges? Share your comments below and join the conversation. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated with more inspiring and entertaining stories. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.